and could be a spoiler. It's arguably, given his positions, he may take more votes from Donald Trump than Joe Biden. And then there is this protest vote. Where do you think things stand now?
Look, Robert Kennedy Jr. has the same math and the same path to zero victory in the presidential election that No Labels had. And No Labels just did the right thing this week. And that is a great thing for democracy. And we expect Robert Kennedy Jr. should do the same. There is, as you said at the top of the last moment there, Allie, there is no pathway for a third-party presidential candidate in this two-party system to secure the 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. The only pathway a third-party candidate has in the United States at the presidential level is to actually serve as a spoiler. And in 2024, we're incredibly worried that Robert Kennedy will actually swing the election to Donald Trump, and nobody in this country needs to have that ever again.
All right, so there's a campaign effort on three fronts. There's moderates and conservatives and Republicans, maybe, who are frustrated with the idea of a Donald Trump or the attack on reproductive rights and other freedoms. There are Democrats who might not be in favor of some of Joe Biden's policies, or not enthused by him. And then there is this actual protest vote. How do you deal with that last one? In fact, I just want to put up on the screen just Michigan and Wisconsin, the number of votes. The Wisconsin vote in the last election, Joe Biden won by 20,000 votes. 48,000 people voted in a protest in the primary. How do you deal with this?
Look, the situation, or I should say the crisis that is happening in Gaza and between Israel, is catastrophic. It is an atrocity, and it is completely understandable that folks are heading to the polls in the primary to vote uncommitted. And it has to stop. What's happening in Gaza must stop. And I'm heartened to see that there's a growing consensus in the Democratic caucus to really leverage all the power the United States has to stop this atrocity. That being said, at the same time, we as voters here in the United States have a choice to make this November, and there's only one of two people that will end up in the White House in 2025, and that's either Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And we all are very clear, or we should all be very clear, that Donald Trump in the White House would not make the situation in the Middle East any better. In fact,
video that was subsequently pulled down by its owner. RFK Jr.'s New York campaign director, Rita Palma, told a group of Republicans in New York they can help Donald Trump by voting for RFK Jr. if he gets on the ballot. Take a listen.
Things, I guess, will change over time because you do have to only pick one candidate at the end of the day. But the Kennedy voter and the Trump voter, the enemy, our mutual enemy, is Biden. If the Republicans accepted the fact that New York, Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, California, New Jersey, Connecticut, most of the Northeast is going to go blue, why wouldn't we put our vote to Bobby and at least get rid of Biden and get those 28 electoral votes in New York? The card's a little wrong. It says 26 electoral votes. Give those 28 electoral votes to Bobby rather than to Biden, thereby reducing Biden's 270.
RFK Jr.'s camp did respond to the video. Amaryllis Fox, his campaign director, posted on X that Palma was merely hired as a ballot access consultant, and it was not part of their campaign strategy. She added, quote, the sole aim of which is to win the White House with votes from former Trump and Biden supporters alike. Fox did point to a recent Emerson College poll showing that when RFK Jr. voters are forced to pick between Biden and Trump, most go for Trump, a point the DNC seems to have overlooked in their quest to quash third parties.
Speaking of polls, a recent poll from Michigan by USA shows Biden edging out Trump with 45% over 41% in that state.
I'm not sure what this guy is thinking. His supporter trying to work with Republicans to defeat Biden. They're going to mess around and help Trump win. But let's look into this a little. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the environmental attorney and scion of the famous Democratic dynasty, has emerged as an independent presidential candidate. His campaign has garnered attention and raised questions about his potential impact on the 2024 election. While Democrats are concerned about his candidacy potentially siphoning votes away from President Joe Biden, some strategists believe that Kennedy's appeal might extend beyond party lines. Let's delve into why Republicans aren't entirely dismissive of RFK Jr. and how his unconventional approach could resonate with conservative voters. 1. Conspiratorial thinking. Kennedy's conspiratorial thinking could attract Trump voters. His independent status allows him to break free from the traditional left-right paradigm, appealing to those who seek alternatives to mainstream politics. His campaign focuses on issues that transcend party boundaries, such as ending the forever wars, freeing agencies from corporate capture, and protecting free speech. 2. Not easily pigeonholed. Kennedy's policy positions defy categorization as purely liberal or conservative. He challenges the establishment party's attempts to label candidates within these binary frameworks. His campaign spokesperson, Stephanie Spear, emphasizes that they represent the broad majority who have unsubscribed from the right-left paradigm. 3. Equal threat to both major parties. Kennedy's polling numbers hover around 12% nationally against both Biden and Trump. However, the nature of his supporters remains unclear. Some believe he poses an equal threat to both major party candidates, while others consider him nominally worse for Biden for. His base appears to include voters who haven't been swayed by recent elections, major party candidates. Republican perspectives. 1. Monmouth University survey. A recent Monmouth University survey found that 1 in 5 Americans would vote for RFK Jr. if the race came down to Biden and Trump. This suggests that a third-party alternative might be more appealing to voters, regardless of their party affiliation. 2. Republicans aren't worried. Should they be? Some strategists argue that Kennedy could be more of a threat to Republicans than Democrats. Chuck Coughlin, a political strategist in Arizona, wonders whether Kennedy attracts Republican voters who aren't staunch Trump supporters, but hesitate to vote for Biden. The answer remains elusive, but there's a sense that Kennedy's appeal transcends party lines. Conclusion. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s candidacy defies conventional expectations. As he continues to campaign, his impact on the election remains uncertain. Whether he ultimately appeals more to Republicans or Democrats will depend on how voters perceive his unique platform and whether he can secure a spot on key state ballots. One thing is clear: RFK Jr.'s presence injects an element of unpredictability into the 2024 race. Please like, comment, and subscribe.